Okay, there we are. What's up, YouTube? How are you doing after the pump of yesterday? Very, very nice indeed. Price moving towards the upside. And as always, we got some stuff to cover. So, how are you doing? Let me actually put on the other screen, move you guys on the chat before we actually go through the stuff. And yeah, look, it's a little bit bugged again, but I think Floddy was indeed the top message. So let's see what happens if people keep writing in the chat. Let's see if it fills up to the bottom here. It should, right? So Flotty, how you doing? Good to have you here. Raymond as well. Hatsan live. Yep, you caught one live once more. Floddy is always there. Station 2K16. Absolutely correct. By the way, I still have to answer you on Telegram, of course, but I'll get to that. Unless you ask the question here as well, I can cover it live. Watty, what's up? Raymond, what a night. Yeah, like we went to bed when price was right around 31.627. That's what I think when I went to bed, and I woke up, let's see, at 6 a.m. when price was around 34.2. Not bad at all. Flotty, another live. Exactly. Ready for some fire? What's up, Mark? Good to have you. What to have you? Or good to have you. And the Jägermeister, Head and Shoulders didn't work out. No, I'm not into patterns anyway. The only reason I was looking for potentially a Head and Shoulders is a fake out. You know, if you move down, you fake out the neckline and move up. Or you just move up instantly, which is perfectly fine as well. Because we will go through the different steps and that increase the probabilities towards the upside. Because I think it's important to, you know, go through the, basically, going through the past week and kind of repeat some of the things that I mentioned in the videos regarding the local price action as well, which of course is always important. I love to observe the reaction and keep an eye on local price action. So what we're going to do is start with that, which then eventually leads us to where we are now. And then we are going through scenarios, right? Okay. That is right. So first of all, let's go back in time just a little bit. Open my object tree, and let's start over here. So we got that big push towards the upside, right? Big wick as well. All good, all nice. Now, importantly, price was ranging here for a while, right? And on the 1 hour chart, this little move up was an order block. Now, for the people that remember the content shared a week ago, so on the 18th of October, we had this order block here, remember? Which was important. Testing the order block, testing the order block, testing the order block, where I mentioned, hey, you know, if you're going to pass this order block, besides, by the way, bullish CVD divergences we're building, if you can remember here as well, said if you pass the order block, probabilities are very high, you're going to take the high. Price moved up, moved down, more bullish CVD divergences, and eventually found its way to the upside. It took the high. Then we had this structure over here. This was a single print area, right? We had the wick of the news on the 15-minute chart. Single print stuff. I need to put a horizontal. So price reached the single print area. We made a video here as well, explaining the first time you very often get a support resistance flip when you enter an inefficiency or a single print area. But if you come back and hit it again and start to close candles inside, probabilities really increase to fill the whole inefficiency. Price tested for the second time, started to move inside, filled the whole thing to the upside, and rejected right there. Very, very nice indeed. So that played out very nice. Now then we had a bit of a range. And in this range, we had two potential scenarios here, right? We had the ABC. So ABC was one of those, where potentially in B, we had a WXY, meaning we were looking for higher still. This here looked like an ABC on the lower time frames. Of course, we didn't necessarily knew it was going to continue pumping, but it's more about the thought that based on Elliott waves, we were looking for a bit of a move to the upside still to reach that wave B, because counting this as a 1, 2, like a 1, 2, 3, and then a 4, 5, well, we had overlap, remember, between the low of 1 and the high of 4. So then you can only think about diagonals, but then over here, in the beginning, a diagonal is fine, but the longer price is ranging, the more or the less probable it becomes, because then you go into an expanding diagonal. You know, it looks like zigzag or a 5, 3, 5. So you want to look for another 3 and a 5. Now you got a bit of a 3 here, which could have been a zigzag, which is what you want to see in a wave 2 and a wave 4 of a diagonal. But then you want to see another 5, and it actually didn't really came down as well, right? Bullish CVD divergences, I believe, as well. Move towards the upside, but we were looking for still a move up, maybe looking for a bit deeper, but we didn't get it. Price moving to the upside, and in the previous video, I had a white box over here, right? One of my target boxes. You can go to, I removed it now because we passed it, but we had a target box over here. And in the previous video, I explained the one of 7 a.m. this morning. So 6 hours ago. I went over what I was looking for in this area. Just to repeat, like last night, I covered it as well. And yesterday we covered this because price moved to the upside, hit the target box, eventually moved through it. This was during the night. I wasn't awake. But then candles started closing here, including a 4-hour candle. And that is important because if I quickly put a horizontal line on the chart, which one? I think it was, now I missed which one it was. I think I did it on the, I think it is this one. Where is it? Horizontal line. We had to move up. I need to know the time because I analyzed this on the 15-minute. So we moved 7:15. Let's see. So that is, I have no idea. Let me just do it like this because I trade 15 minutes. So I analyzed all of this on the 15. So let me just, because I woke up and candles were here. 12-hour. Yes. Actually go to the 4-hour. Let's see where it is. Okay, so it was this one. There you go. That green candle on your chart, maybe the gray one on my chart. This one closed. And I woke up the next morning during like when the red candle basically closed. That's when I woke up. And in the morning video, I mentioned we're in this gap here. I had this gap and I had this white box all the way dragged to the right, if you remember, where I mentioned, hey, we closed a 4-hour candle that's quite significant inside this gap. I am now looking for this gap to fill because we had a close in this gap. So I'm looking for this gap to fill, meaning reaching that green line. However, because we also had the target box, it is nice for price to move down to the target box. So over here we had the target box, we passed it, and then we came down. We retested the target box as well, bullish CVD divergences. We went up, closed the gap, right? Hit the green line. We had another target box over here as well in this area, which had a daily naked point of control, which is where price found resistance right here because these candles closed right below that daily naked point of control, where price moved down, all good. And then in the latest video, which is last night, that is, I mentioned if price closes a candle above the target box, the probabilities will go up. We just go for new highs. Well, this was the close above the target box, little retest, and off we went. Now, this actually did not take the high yet, but with this candle, you closed above the high, and yeah, well, the rest is history, right? So price moving towards the upside and still does. We have some bullish CVD divergences over here, higher low in price, lower low in the CVD. Target is this high. And we are now at resistance, which is this white box. And, you can see that you kind of move from box to box. Now, I really enjoy using the target boxes that I have. They're very often very well respected. We move from the target box that we had down here in pretty much a straight line towards the upside to the next one, where we then find resistance, third time is the charm, potentially move up. And then I'll be looking for the next one. And those are important support resistance areas that I identified on my charts, and which can be like areas of interest, right? So this is basically the story in a nutshell from the last week of price action, where of course we covered Elliott Waves with the double 1-2. We also had the bearish scenario, but the more local probabilities, I always mention like, hey, keep an eye on the single print, keep an eye on the gap. Probabilities are higher for this and that, because as long as more locally, more zoomed in, you don't see weakness, we want to look for upside. So yeah, this is very interesting. We might actually push through here now as well. So let's go over some Elliott Wave knowledge and start on the zoomed out time frames. Point of control. Oh, we're actually value area high of the range. But I'll remove this little box here. Fib retracement. We can remove all of that as well. And let's zoom out because I got some new stuff to share. And let's clean the chart. I don't think I organized my folders too very well just before going live. Of course, if you've seen the morning video, you know like a bit of the macro perspective, but I've been also working a little bit on the local stuff. So let me get through there or through that. That's the volume profile. Oh yeah, let's start with this. Now this kind of comes a little bit from the video this morning, so you may have seen it if you check the update. Well, we covered this one very often because in all the macro videos that I've been making for a very long time now, we had a volume profile on the chart over here. And for potential resistance on the macro, right? Where we had then the value area low in confluence with a support resistance flip. And the value area low in confluence with the support resistance, test one, test twice, move down, third time is the charm. Well, now we kind of get into it. Won't be surprised if we still might, even retest, backtest, whatever you like to call it. But entering the range, third time over here, we enter this big range. There's high probabilities you're going to reach at least the point of control at 39K over here, important zone, but also the value area high, right? 49.5. Well, for simple range trading strategies, of course, they say trade the range until it breaks, and then the point of control is often an important take profit area for either longs from the lows or shorts from the highs, and then closing at the other side. So we have to wait and see how this works, of course, but I just want to show we passed this support resistance area now for, well, 1, 2, the third time we now passed it. Of course, everything moves in waves, right? It doesn't move in a straight line unless over here, your 2021, that was pretty much a straight line. And of course it might, but also here, even in the straight line, you see a bit of a range we're on the weekly chart. Over here, you have a 3-week range, right? So also in this move up, you have a 3 to 4 week range. So you do have ranges in between. You do get the retracements where if you're a bull, you can of course preferably fill up when there's retracements, right? You don't necessarily want to long into resistance unless you have a strategy to do so, no? So this is a nice one to keep an eye on. This is the weekly chart, and I pulled this from basically just this range till this candle here, where we then broke below the wide support resistance area. In case you want to put this on your own chart, I'm also on log because we're on the weekly time frame. If we then zoom in to the lower time frame and also remove this, then what you can see here is the running flat scenario. It's actually very rare, and this is also the thing with probabilities. Over here you had the running flat, low of C not taking the low of A, extremely rare. If you put wave E one up, so this is your zigzag, and then this is your ABC flat in wave B, a wave B flat inside a big flat is also extremely rare. So you didn't really have a high probability scenario on the 12-hour for the bulls at that moment in time. You move up. The moment you move up over here, probabilities are still higher for downside. You get this move to the upside. That is where things are like, a bit neutral, but we have a big wick. Price tends to fill big wicks as well, though. But this is where then what I mentioned in the beginning, just now, in the beginning of the stream, this is the moment where we were looking at local price action. Because this is the moment where you're like, from an Elliott Wave perspective, we have a running flat or a regular flat where you have a B flat, which is very rare. We have a bearish scenario in an ABC. Both work, but price pushes up. The probabilities on the medium time frame are pretty much like equal. The thing is that a running flat is very rare and a zigzag is way more common. So based on Elliott Wave probabilities of scenarios, the probability at the moment in time was higher for another move down, because Elliott Waves running flat, very, very rare. Right? Especially on the higher time frames. You don't see this very often. But over here, this is where you're like with the bearish scenario as well, we have to zoom in. And that is when I started covering more and more local price action, because this is what was going to be way more important for up or downside. And this is where we then identified there was no weaknesses. We're looking for higher. We're looking for higher. We're filling the gap. We're filling the single prints. We broke the order block, right? And that's then the information that leads us to probabilities locally. Probabilities locally still higher for a move up, still higher for a move up. And eventually we got the pump and here we are. So sometimes on the medium time frame, might be a rare scenario, but then you zoom in and that is where you identify the strength of a move. And the bullish scenario, we then have here the triple 1-2 that I have on my chart right now. As price is indeed moving to the upside a little bit. Now in this particular scenario where I quickly have to do that, make it nice, right? We have a triple 1-2 scenario. So we have a 1-2 in green, 1-2 in blue. It's not the nicest 1-2 as well, because the second wave 1 is longer in price than the first, and the second wave 2 is longer in time and price than the first, but it's a lower degree Elliott Wave count. Can happen because in a 1-2-1-2, the one wave 2 can be a zigzag, while the other one might be complex. And a zigzag is usually short in time, and the second one, if that's a more complex, might be longer. Both in these, like this, I believe was double zigzag. Here was an ABC, but this one was much more drawn out over time, making you think as well. Another 1-2 over here for then the big push in a wave 3. But to keep things simple, on your chart, in case you want to copy some of the pulls and the Elliott waves on the chart, I would personally, in your case, remove the white count, right? And just keep an eye on what you see over here. And if price is going to make higher highs, you just drag this fib pool to the upside. So Florian Sauer, I just see it in the corner of my eye. Welcome, man. I will get you into silver and stuff. Just send me an email. But welcome, Florian. I appreciate your support. That's amazing. It's so rare to have members during live streams coming in as well. So yeah, little welcome to Florian, everyone. Make sure you clap or you wave or welcome. What's up, Florian? Good to have you here. Send me an email. I'll get you sorted. Jeez. What a stream already. Okay, so here we have then 1-2. So this box is important because you have a 1-2-1-2. You look for the blue wave 3. Price can keep pushing. A wave 3 can be very, very extended. We're at the 3. These fibs, by the way, pulled from the low to the high of 1 to the low of 2, right? And it continues. We are at 3, 3.618. Usually what you can pay attention to is that if you pull a fib for a wave 3, then you can look at the following. The 1.618 quite often gives a reaction, which it did here as well. If I zoom in, you can see, beautiful, right? The moment you pass the 1.618, you tend to go to the 2.618. We have the big wick, which is a reaction. The moment, however, you pass a 2.618, price tends to move towards the 3.618. We are having a little bit of a struggle around 3 over here, but the 3.618 sitting at 36 Okay, so that is definitely an area of interest. Do we have, oh, and it's right in my blue box as well, between 35.9 and 36.2. So yeah, it's very, very nice confluence indeed. So in this scenario, we are now between the 3 and the 3.618. So you also see that I tend to use 1.618, 2, 2.618, 3, 3.618, those type of things. And just to make your trading easy, if you use Elliott Waves, remove the white count here. Let me actually hide this. Only keep the green and the blue one on, and just wait for a range in wave 4. Because in the bullish scenario, you're looking for upside, right? Your wave 3 is extended. You're going to be looking for eventually a bigger range to the downside. So if you pull a fib from the low to the high, but if price just keeps pushing without a range that is at least in time relatively similar to this wave 2, so yes, you do get smaller ranges, you will get a range, you will get a range, you will get a range, but if all of these ranges are a lot shorter than this one, it's not yet the blue wave 4, right? It's just sub-degree waves of what you see here. 1, 2, potentially another 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you get a 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. But those are much smaller in time. So what you're going to be looking for is a bigger wave 4 to form. So fib from the low to the high at the moment gives you this box. If price makes a new high, you're just going to move this box to the upside with price. And what's important here is that once price does make a bigger range, which in time is similar at least to around this wave 2, that is where this becomes important. Most common target for a 4 is between the 382 and the 05, and you don't want to see the 618 hit, as that is an invalidation. So if you would move to the upside, very short like ranges, no range that is quite similar to what you had here, but you do this, that won't be good. Right? That's not a good thing. So you want to stick above the wave 4, 0.5 preferably. Yes, a wave 4 is allowed to wick below the 05, but you don't want to see the 0.618 hit, which at this moment is at 29.8. But as you can see, we are not forming. We're on the 4 hour. Look how long this range of wave 2 is, which was over here, 9 days and 4 hours. So you want to see at least a range forming of around 9 days, 7 days of ranging, at least 10 days, 12 days. Wave 4 tends to be longer in time than a wave 2 based on the rule of alternation. If a wave 2 is simple, a zigzag in this case is a simple correction. The simple corrections are a flat zigzag triangle. At least a triangle, it's like it falls in simple because they call it in the book, they call it simple, but a triangle is actually quite complex to count. But this is a zigzag, very nice in wave 2. So the probabilities are higher for wave 4 to be complex, shallow, and longer in time. So longer than 9 days and 4 hours. So this is something to keep your eye on. So just pull a fib from this low to wherever the high is going to be. You just move this box, these fibs, to the upside with price, and eventually you will get into a range wherever that is going to be. And then you're going to be looking for support in this area, where most commonly the 382 and the 05 is important. And in a strong bull market, the 382 tends to be your support, your area of interest. So that could be an area to look then for potential longs, right? In the bullish scenario, that is. And then you're going to be looking for a wave 5 for the green wave 3, which means that then you also get a green one in here from the high to wherever the high of 3 is going to be, the green 3, right? We don't know yet. But let's say it's going to be around 40K to name something. Make this green, make the 618, make it gray. Okay, let's turn this around to the right and do that. So imagine around 40K here, this is going to be your high. We have important resistance at around 39 to 40K. That's the reason why I choose 40K here for now. So imagine this is going to be your high of your blue 5, so you get a 3, range in 4, 5 to the upside. Then you're still going to be looking for a green 4. So now you're going to go to the downside again. So you can do the same trick with the green 4, but you're still first waiting for the blue 4. So it doesn't make sense to put this on the chart yet, you see. And then you're going to be waiting for the blue 4 before then a continuation, or sorry, for the green 4, before then continuation in the green 5. And the green 5 could then be the end of your even bigger wave 1. So you have over here 1, then you're going to be looking for 2, and that's when you get a big 3. The question is, will you get such a deep retracement, or does the market just leave? You know, the train has left, like the market likes to do that, right? Where it doesn't come back too deep. The retracements are shallow, but there is always the potential that you have a wave 1, you get a wave 2, and then you go off to the races in a bullish scenario. That is yet to be seen, very, very hypothetical at the moment, but I kind of at least showed you what you can pay attention to using the fibs and using some Elliott Wave knowledge as well. So we can remove this. I thought someone was like entering the house here, but gonna kick his ass live on stream. Okay, so bullish scenario, you're in the 1-2 stuff and price moves up. Bearish scenario, yes. There are bearish scenarios, and I think that, so of course this morning I wake up, you know, I check the charts, I check the different platforms and la-di-la, and there is hype everywhere, which of course is good. And it's nice, and price is moving up. But as a trader, you want to remain neutral in the emotions. You still don't really want to buy, hopefully, into resistance, right? That you wait for a retracement. If you see support, bam, you can hit it again, right? And then you wait for the next draw, that like move to the downside. But as a trader, especially in Elliott waves, you always need a bullish and a bearish scenario, and then you dedicate probabilities to the scenarios. So this morning I put in a little bit of work, and I have this scenario in a bit more detail coming as well. Now for the bulls, close your eyes, right? This is not what you're going to be looking for. At the moment, by the way, probabilities are lower for the bearish scenario compared to the bullish scenario, just because of the price action we have, the volume to the upside, right? Let's see the volume. You got some volume peaks, but we got to be aware. We're not at all-time highs, right? Yeah, 2023 all-time high, I suppose. We're not at 69K. We're not at 50K. We're not at 40K. We're at only 34K, right? We're still 35K away from new all-time highs. You can't yet go there, right? We got to take it level by level, step by step. Every time there's going to be a bullish and a bearish scenario, and the more pushy price goes and the higher it goes, the higher prices we're going to look for, like the lower probability the bearish scenarios have. But at the moment, the bearish scenario doesn't have too high of a probability because of the push that we have here. And I'll show you that as well when I zoom in a little bit in a second. So bearish scenario is a three-wave structure to the downside in a flat type of move, where either WXY or ABC doesn't really matter per se, but what you're going to be looking for is taking the lows. And in this scenario, the most common target for B is between the 1.236 and the 1.38, which, as you can see, is where price is hanging around right now, with a less common target for B, the 1.618, sitting at 36.1 to 36.2K. Now, in this scenario, you're then expecting a three-wave move to the upside and then a five-wave down, where now, I think as it stands, did I do that? Yeah, so as it stands, the most common target for your C with the high over here between the two 1.618s is between 23.9 and 18.5. So something we have to keep in mind. It's just planting the seed. You know, whatever happens locally, that is going to be most important, right? Probabilities are not yet on the side of this scenario, but we got to be aware, right? Because the market loves to play its tricks. Now, if we then look into a wave B, then one scenario, I have two scenarios. One scenario is an ABC, where you have an expanding diagonal A, wave B retraced to the 3A2, taken from the low to the high of A, which is a common target for a wave B, rare target for a wave 2. Of course, in a bullish scenario, this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, where this wave 2 retraced to the 0.5, which is then a common target for a wave 2. But in this scenario, when you pull it from the low to the high of A, wave B, 382, common for B, not so common for a wave 2, where now you're then going to be looking for a wave C, which means a 5-wave structure. So here you have A, short B, 5-wave structure, 1, 2, 3, maybe you get 4 and 5, where also for this wave C, the 1.618 is a target sitting at 36.3 to 4K. So 36 important, right? You heard it a couple of times now. It's an important area. Also on my chart, we got some resistance there as well. If we pass the white box, I'll be looking for the blue box above, which is right on top of 36K. So that could still be a potential target for your C. It's very extended, of course, but gotta keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. It's only about the C. So then you're gonna be having a 1, 2, looking for a 3. You're gonna be looking for a 4 and then a 5. But what is important here in comparison to the bullish scenario is that if you get a move down, you want to go down all the way. While in the bullish scenario, your wave 4 should find support in this box, or at least you're allowed to wick below close, and then you're going to make a new high. The 0.618 is not allowed to be touched. The moment you make a high and you're going to go into a bigger range to the downside, if this range to the downside is a complex or a triangle or something like this, sideways double combo, okay, probabilities will be very high for a move up. If this move to the downside starts as a zigzag, a 5, 3, 5, at least we got to be a little bit aware of but at least you know what to look for. In the bearish scenario, you're going to reach the invalidation. In the bullish scenario, you're going to look for support and continuation. That is the biggest difference between these two scenarios at the moment. Another scenario is the WXY, but I'm not really a big fan of this one. Just want to show it for the Elliott Wave is here, I suppose. Maybe you have another way of doing the WXY, but you have then over here ABC. And in this scenario, that is your low instead of this one. And you then have ABC. So you have a very extended wave C and a flat, where wave C is an expanding diagonal. It's not too great. Wave X retraced to the 382. Common target, and then you have wave Y to the upside, which then should be a zigzag, but counting this as a zigzag is quite tough because it looks like a single wave, and a zigzag is a 5-3-5-3 wave structure. Of course, a zigzag can be very steep, but then this has to be your A, B, C. So is there potential? Yeah, it's just I prefer the ABC over the WXY really, but still nonetheless, we also always gotta think about the bearish scenarios, and then it's about probabilities, which at the moment, of course, support the bullish scenario, but we still got to keep it in mind. So, and also let's see what the volume does. At least volume is a little bit higher than it was in the range over here. As you can see, let's actually for a little bit check the volume, because if I'll get to that in a second. This of course is much higher. Average volume is also higher here. So you definitely want to see volume increase still. I'm still not too happy with the volume. Because if this is your wave 1, if this is your 1, this is your 2 on a high time frame, you're looking for a wave 3. Now this can be a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you get your 3, which would explain the volume a little bit, that it's a little bit slower. So if you then eventually end your second one, you get a 2, and then you get the 3, because what you're looking for in a wave 3 is the volume, right? Price moving parabolic, volume moving as parabolic to the upside, right? That's what you want to see over here. Price moving parabolic, volume moving up, right? Look at the volume spikes that you get for multiple days in a row, and the average volume over here is much higher than we had during the range section. That is what you're going to be looking for. But at the moment, it could be a potential then high time frame double 1 2 forming here. So 1 2 1 2 down. Up, not down, lol. So yeah, and those are the different scenarios that I currently keep in mind. So I think I kind of told you everything that I am looking at the moment. So I hope you found that very useful. Put on my target boxes here. Oh, another thing which I think is important. I wrote this in the updates, silver updates. Over here on the chart, CVD chart, lower high on price, but on my chart, Coinbase, higher high on price. Now, I use Coinbase for a good reason, because it fits best with my personal trading strategy. The fact that I have a higher high on my chart but a lower high on AGGR, I don't trust any CVD divergences with these highs. Can it play out and can you do this? Absolutely. But I don't trust them, because the highs here are different than the highs that I see on AGGR. So CVD divergences to the downside, bearish CVD, I'm not interested in these, not necessarily because of the market structure, but because the highs are different. So yeah, we're now testing this box for the third time. And what I had on the chart earlier is, let me put this back, is potentially the golden pocket here. And I also had a volume profile for this range. Very nice. Some confluence here, value area low, golden pocket. You also have a bit of a support resistance area here. So yeah, maybe if price does come down, area of interest. 33, what is this? 0.4K. Okay then, boom. What's up, chat? How are you doing? How are you doing? Raymond didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Really? Did you stay awake? So I don't trade. I have very strict rules. I don't trade between 10 and 6 a.m. So 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. I don't wake up for trades during my sleep. I really value my sleep. In the past, I did set alarms when, like, long time ago, I set some alarms. But, you know, I value my sleep much more than I value entering a trade in the middle of the night, because I know with the strategy, I'm having enough opportunities during the days, right? I don't need to mess up my sleep per se. So I really value my sleep. However, I know quite a lot of people that set alarms throughout the nights at levels to trade. And if that fits their way of trading, their strategy, their lifestyle, that's good. But because I have other businesses as well, I can't really disrupt my sleep, because else during the day I'm not going to be efficient and focused, which I need for the content, trading, my educational business. I'm a keynote speaker, right? So I need to be on it. Will we be hitting 44K today? I can't speak in certainties, only in probabilities, and the probabilities are low you're going to hit that today. Because if you want to reach 44K, let's talk about the resist. So support below now is 33.5, 33.4, like this area here. Well, maybe a bit bigger, 33 to 33.5. Resistance, 35.9, 36.2. 36.7 to 37K, then this little one at 37.6, and then you have over here 38.5, 38.9. You're not gonna reach 44K today, my friend. 39.3, 39.7. Another one, 43, 40.5. What is in here? Okay, quite a lot. And then over here you have nothing till we reach the gold, 42.9, 43.6. So unless you clear all of this resistance in the next couple of hours, there is no chance. So the target boxes are very important, and you know it's price kind of like moves from target box to target box. It's areas are very interesting always. Same with the lows here. We had a target box here as well. We had another target box here just above, and you find support, you move up, find support, and it moved straight. I didn't have any target box between this and the one above, and it just moved straight. And where does it find resistance? At the box. So yeah, these are important areas that I identified for support, resistance, and unless you can clear all of this today, I'm not looking for this. I think probabilities are higher to have a bit of a range after the push. And then we just see what happens locally. As I tend to say, we have the Elliott waves on the higher time frames, but what's happening locally will give us the most information about what might be next. Let's see what the retracement is actually. 786. Yeah, 786. So the combination of the two least probable scenarios have played out. A running flat on the macro and a double 1-2 on the high time frame. Then why look for most probable scenarios at all? Because the most probable scenarios over a long enough sample size give you the most profits. But this is also where the differences are between the higher time frames and the lower time frames. If on the higher time frames you have a running flat and the double 1-2, which doesn't look too nice, but you can identify, which we have done here as well, continuous strength on the chart. We have the push up, and this is where I explained you can go to the beginning, passing the order block, looking for the high, hitting this for the second time. In efficiency, I'd be looking for the high if you hit it for the second time, right? Over here, ABC, looking for higher, right? Passing the target box here as a support resistance. Closing a 4-hour candle in a gap that we had a long time back, looking to close the gap, which was at 31.4K, which we hit here. We had a target box here. Closing candles above the target box, probabilities are higher. So you can have higher time frame Elliott waves, which will give you an indication, but the local price section then gives a better read on what is happening locally. Because in general, the probabilities in Elliott waves, and you can read this in books, you can read this on websites, the probabilities, you can read them everywhere. Yes, the probabilities are rare for a running flat to form, but it's not impossible. It's just that you have changes in preferred and alternative scenarios, and then more locally, you can zoom in and have another more Elliott wave scenarios more locally, also internally of that double 1-2. You keep counting, but if you can't count weakness, it's sometimes just the way it is. You should focus on the least probable ones only. Running flats, expanding structures, diagonals. Well, my friend, I wish you the best of luck. If that is your way of using Elliott waves, then that's a possibility as well. So yeah, that everyone has their own way of using Elliott waves and their own way of trading in general. So if that is your way of trading, then trade it that way. If you're very good in Elliott waves and you want to use the lowest probability scenarios and you're only trading the lowest probability scenarios, and it works for you, then it works for you, no? So there's no problem there. Because in the end, everyone's strategy will be different. So if that is your strategy, it's good because you can trade in 1,000 different ways. And funny enough, I don't even trade Elliott waves. I have my own self-developed trading strategy because Elliott waves for me is not structured enough. Yes, it has many rules and you can enter in areas, but the areas can be quite big. And I want to be more pinpoint, more to the point, have a very strict stop loss, not too far away from entries, and very you can use Elliott waves for swing trading, absolutely. But for my day trading, I don't use it. But I use it for directional bias. So, yeah, if this is your plan, then go for it. Let me know how it goes. Broncos, Place. Or Plaza, I don't know what it is in Spanish. What's up? How you doing? Florian, it's nice to be a member of the best Bitcoin analysis channel on YouTube. It was about time. It was time. Thanks for your kind words, man. Welcome to the team. The Silcom team. Yeah, Raymond, welcome on board indeed. Welcome, man. Thanks for your support here on the channel. I'll get you sorted. You send me the email and what is it? YouTube, Discord, Telegram username. And then I can add you and put you in all the stuff. Spot order book is your friend. And Da Fish, what's up, man? Have you had a good night, The Fish? The Fish is always here in live streams as well. Great that he's back. I saw something in Discord. I think on Lelwa posted something about that or Card, I'm not sure, or Super Psycho posting something about the people are buying spot now, or the bot chart or the spot chart goes up. Look at the ETH chart. For me, the bear scenario has still the higher probability. Crowd performance, what's up? I will have a look at the ETH chart. They're of course related, so I'll make sure to do that. Lucian, hello. Sambukatan, good day, sir, from the Philippines. There's quite often people from the Philippines here. Good to have you here as well. Always awake. Night shifts and 3 kids. Wow, talking about tough life. 32K soon? Yeah, it's quite close. I expect a bit of a range at least. 31 to 31.5. Yeah, has potential. Let me actually have a little look. If we take a fib from here, we go to 32. From an Elliott Wave point of view, you'd probably prefer another high first, because your invalidation at the moment, 32.2, and in the bullish scenario, wait, where is my... Oh, there we go. Yeah. Like for sure your invalidation is 29.8. So eventually you're going to be looking for that blue wave 4. Eventually, but that is, that's going to be a long range. Currently, you potentially still have another 1, 2 here and another 1, 2. So you could be looking for like 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. A couple of 4, 5s, which gives you a bit of a ranging structure to the upside. Before then, probably you're going to wick. And then you're going to move to the downside for then a bigger wave 4. So I think 36K is probably going to be an important level in what is to come. If you get a couple of 4, 5s after one another. Papa Live, how are you doing, man? Papa Live always has great comments in the comment section. Good to have you here. Wait, let me actually do this. Keep the chart nice and clean. Could you show me the settings you have on volume profile, because my value area high and value area low are over the place? Yes, here's my settings. The row size is on 300 at the moment, value area on 70 always. The only thing I change is row size, and I currently have it on extend right. But if I click here, I have templates with different row sizes depending on how high the time frame is that I check. 148 is lowest row size that I use for like maybe more local ranges, right? And then 300 is one that I use quite a lot as well. And then you go to 500, gives you even more detail. And then 1000, 5000. 5000 would only be on like, very high time frame charts. 1000 is also high time frame, but 500 maybe 4 hour, and then 300 and 148 is for the lower time frames, because of course the more rows you have, the more detail you get. But more detail does not mean always that it's better, especially in the lower ranges. So and Papa Love, how you doing, man? So like, what's up? Have you been trading? Of course, the comments, I saw a comment recently again from you. So what's up? The Doctor, how you doing, man? Is there a subscription package to learn your day trading? Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not really a sales type of guy, so I kind of go over this question quickly. If you click on the join button below, there's the diamond group, which is great. There's a couple of diamonds here as well. So yeah, that is where I really teach my strategy, but also I help people to create their own strategy, which is at least as important. How to create your own trading strategy, because that is when you become even more confident. But I do show and setups, live trading. We had a live trading session this morning, just chilling. There wasn't any opportunities, but we were just chilling. So yeah, and it's a very active group. So yeah. So lounge setups, altcoin setups. That's because of the group. They started to put a strategy to work on altcoins. my strategy, live trading. This is download strategy, create strategy, download streams, AGGR templates of many coins, and chatting. So yeah. Hi, how to access to your live chart? Well, actually it's off now, but there you go, it's on. Sorry. Usually, most of the times my chart is on, and the link is in the description. So you can just go to my chart, click on, I don't know where it is. It probably says my chart or Koenz trading chart in the description. And sometimes when I'm doing certain things on the chart, not when I am analyzing, because everyone can see it, but when I'm like putting trades on, or when I track my statistics and I have all of my previous trades on the chart and stuff, I prefer to use to put the chart off. But most of the time it's on, and everything I do on the chart, you will see live when it happens. So if I draw this line, then you will see this line now on the chart. And actually, when I look at the amount of clicks in the links in the description, by far the most clicks are for keeping an eye on my chart, which is good. Yeah, it's fine. It helps people learn as well. I got some private messages as well where people, they see the chart moving, so they know I'm working on something, and they see the process of how I am then like getting to a new count, which helps them as well. So yeah, I think it's nice. People enjoy to watch. Of course, I have no idea how many people have my chart open, but they can have it open at any time, and most of the time it's public. So you can just see what I have on my chart, and usually my charts are very clean, so I don't have too much stuff going on. So that is something to keep in mind. Yeah, that is that. So yes, you can exit the live chart. Uncle Wyckoff seems like invalidated. With the UTAD. I think someone wrote that. Let me quickly check Discord, because I think someone actually put this in Discord. Let me UTAD. By the way, guys, there's almost 1,100 people in Discord. Holy moly. That's a lot of people now. Oh yeah, people were looking for this, so that you go for UTAD, and some people actually overlaid it on the chart, but I can't just this quickly find it. But they were looking then for the UTAD potential move up, and then you get the move to the downside. And we're not yet out of the danger, right? As explained earlier in the live stream, when I went over the analysis for the people that just joined, make sure to go to the beginning. You're not yet out of danger. Up till 36.123k, basically, there's still the opportunity for it to be in UTAD from a Wyckoff perspective. And then you get the wave C, right? So you have basically ABC. Flat, ABC, so ABC. Of course, probabilities are not high for that at the moment, but the local price action will continue to tell us the most and give us even more information. I actually want to find that overlay. Give me a second here. Let me go to Bitcoin TA. Let me have a quick little look here. Maybe I have to look for Wyckoff. Let me actually do this here, so you actually see something. Wyckoff. Let's have a look here. That is, oh no, that is already older. No. Hey, there he is, Pop Alive. Nice, that was correct. That's correct. This is when the push happened last night. So I was sleeping when everything going on here was during the night. The chat is so well behaved, guys. Like, compliments to you. It's great to see. I love the fact that people are talking about TA and analysis and charts. Jarvis always with some good counts himself as well in the chat. Always great to see. Linus shares a lot about order flow as well. He's a great trader, keeping an eye on order flow. Jerry, he's a scalper. He's a great trader as well. I kept an eye on him. John, he is low time frame Elliott Wave counter. KG is an amazing Elliott Wave counter as well. But I don't see the... I'm trying to find the overlay. What is this? Wyckoff, waiting Wyckoff reaccumulation scheme. Yeah. I don't know how far I have to dig to try and find that. So, you know, let's not spend too much time scrolling through a Discord group. Papa, pleasure, man. Jays, shout out to Dema from the Philippines. Dema, he's indeed active in the group, as well as on YouTube. Haven't seen him for a short while now. But hey, Dema, if you're here, what's up? Ludovico, I really appreciate your work. Best in town, but I have to say goodbye because last night I got crashed sleeping and I lost my last 6k. In the last year I lost 145k, so I'm definitely out. Uy. Man, sorry, man. Sorry to hear that. That is a pain. Last night I got crashed. I lost your last 6k. Yeah, that's a tough moment, no? Would be good to, like, at the same time, right? I think quite, like, not with this amount of money, but people recognize this like situation where you lose money. I mean, of course, you know, quite an amount, but I suppose it is good to have time off and reevaluate life in general sometimes, where, you know, is this for me, or can I cope with the mental pressure? Do I have a solid strategy, or do I need to work on building one? These are like the moments where one learns, if one reflects on what has happened. But of course, it's very sad to hear this has happened. So sorry to hear that, man. I hope you are all right yourself as well, with, of course, other things that you have in life, and family and whatnot. But yeah, that is I can imagine you're going to be out. But, you know, thanks at least for your kind words, and make sure you're okay. Like, if you come back some other day, make sure to write something in the comment section or something and let me know how you're doing. Because this is tough. Hey, this is tough. But appreciate your work. Best in town. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Trade safe. And give it some time off the charts. Relax. Do some other stuff. Maybe reflect. Is it for you or not? And before turning into trading a solid strategy, maybe one day, but maybe you'll never trade again. That's the choice. Stay well, man. Papa, yes, mate, I've been trading, but I got smashed with the pump because I was playing my odds to the downside. You're playing odds to the downside. Yeah, we also closed above the 886 on the 12-hour here. And the resistance area above the target box. So yeah, probabilities were a bit up, but also smashed. Yeah, these are the moves where shit happens, you know, like it goes so quick, it can catch you out. I got absolutely whipped out, lost a big trade, actually lost a big chunk. Yeah, I can imagine also with the speed, it just, if it hits the stop loss, it can, you know, the slippage might be big as well. So sorry to hear that, man, Papa. But reflect, just like the same as Ludovico here. Like, reflect on what happened, the loss that you had, what went wrong, and maybe your strategy. Did you miss something in order flow? Because these are also the moments to learn. Like, I remember, right? Let me go into a more personal story, I suppose, where and this was at the very, very beginning. My first ever trade was a 12, almost 13k win. Put all my savings in. I was at like whatever leverage, 20, 25. My liquidation was my stop loss. It was on Ethereum. I entered at 975. My liquidation was 865 or 867. And it was around 10 p.m. at night. came back from France, opened my laptop on the train station in Amsterdam Belmer Arena. I know it very well. I even know the track that I was standing on, and track 5. And I opened the laptop, entered the trade. I was so emotional. Now, I made 12K. Okay, that's the good part. First ever trade. That's the bad part. Because then after, the best thing that can happen to you as a new trader is you lose your first trade. The fact I won made me lose afterwards. So I had some big losses, and I actually lost more than I won in my first trade. So I lost 12K and more in the month after, and that's when I started to learn. So after I got the big losses, because it was like compounding, revenge trading, emotions, all that stuff. Because of the losers, I was like, okay, there must be more to this. I'm doing something wrong. I need to study this. I need to learn from them. And that's when I started to pick things up. So I used the loss as fuel to learn, which at the beginning is tough. For me, the money I lost was enormous, which was shit at the time. Which I can imagine with the pump yesterday, if people were short, that it can feel like a really big hit. And these are the ups and downs as a trader as well, where if you can use that loss as an example of, hey, what went wrong? What did I miss? Why did I go short? What were the signs against my trade? Do I have to change my strategy, improve, build statistics? And that is when you then go into your next stage, I suppose, as a trader. But yeah, respect to you guys to being honest as well, because I think also online people tend to show their winners and not their losers. There is, however, this Asian guy on YouTube that always, somehow the guy is always in a loss, but I guess he earns more through YouTube because people, he has thousands of people watching him lose trades. Probably earns more doing that. But in general, of course, people only show their winners. I had a losing trade. Where was it, guys? The diamond members know. This one over here, this was break even. We had one winner, 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, a 3% win. And then we had a loss somewhere of 2% with the strategy, but I kind of forgot where. Was it here? No, it wasn't here because it was here, I think. Yeah. This was the 2% loss, but our 1 to 3 risk reward win was, I don't know, somewhere here or somewhere before. I don't know exactly anymore. So then you're still on a 1% gain in total. Yeah, that people often show their wins, but I kind of decide on this channel to not show any trades or the position I'm in or showing. So I trade on BingX. BingX, you can find a link in the description if you don't know it, but I use BingX myself for many different reasons. In my opinion, one of the best platforms, and I enjoy using it. Used to use Bybit in the past, but with the Wix and it's just not really, I love Bybit as a brand. I think it's an amazing brand, but I don't trade on it anymore. And they support my Formula 1 team that I enjoy, is Red Bull Racing. I'm Dutch, I'm biased, Max Verstappen. But I really enjoy using BingX. And the portfolio will go up and down because you win and you lose some. But there's definitely losses. That was my most recent loss. And I had a little cheeky long myself. Actually, not really according to the strategy that I have. Cheeky long here. Because for the people that remember, we had a target box here. And we had a key level. And I traded what I said in the video. So we had this level here. We had this gap. And if we whoop. So price closed a 4-hour candle in the gap. And then I said, also in the video, probabilities are very high. You're going to fill the gap. So the key level up here. What then happened is price moved down to the target box that price moved through, came back down, and then there was a nice opportunity, and this was the exit. That's the most recent little win. It goes in ups and downs, and oh boy, do I know how losing money feels as well. If you lose enough, they say you get numb to it, but I don't know. But nonetheless, it's shit to read, but it should be respected that people are honest about wins and losses. Because on YouTube, everyone, or many people, not everyone, they only show wins. Put my focus on DCAing. Depends on the strategy and the budget, but yeah, could have been an idea, of course. Depends on maybe position sizing, and it's never too late to DCA, right? Yes, we are at 34K, it's not 15K, but DCAing is a 10-year, 20-year vision, right? S&P 500, stocks, indexes, which in S&P is one of, or Bitcoin and whatnot, it's very, very, very long term. And don't have to DCA using big budgets, like €5, if that's all someone has, or $5 in a week, can be a beginning. But of course, you won't get rich using $5. So then you need a company or work, salary, and then eventually build stuff up. Get a strategy, maybe earn money through day trading and then use it for investment. But day trading has a lot more risk. My question in Telegram does not appear here. No, because I tend to not have Telegram on the stream, because of course on Telegram you can see all the names and the people you talk to and stuff. And there's also private conversations in there. So that's the reason why. Oh, I think I know what you mean. If you ask your question, then maybe avoid a link if there's a link in your question. I don't know why it doesn't come in here. Kraivit Skritula, welcome from Thailand. Nice to have you here, and my pleasure. What's your thought about DXY? Good question. Let's actually shortly show, because I had an idea. We almost reached target, but actually kind of just missed out. Not too happy, but that might happen with if we get a wave 4 on Bitcoin, which is a move down, DXY might actually move up. Because for the DXY, I was looking at this actually. So 5-wave move down in a 1 or A, looking for a flat. Most common target for a flat is the 1.618. But at the upper 1.618 over here, you see I have a white box where we have a weekly, we have a daily support resistance flip. This is a monthly SR as well. So this is an area of interest where potential rejection can come from, which of course would lead then to Bitcoin absolutely, flying. Yeah, I'm not too. I personally on DXY, I would still look for a little bit higher, I suppose. But hey, it is what it is sometimes. But I think, it would be nice to at least hit this area, and if it can, move up further. But there's strength in Bitcoin at the moment, so if DXY moves up, then Bitcoin can potentially move into a wave 4. And then when we move down, that's, or Bitcoin goes 4-5, whatever. A bigger wave 1 is finished. DXY moves up, you get a bigger wave 2 on Bitcoin. Wave 3 of Bitcoin is the wave 3 or the wave C down on DXY. But yeah, this is an area of interest. You can see the levels here. So, keeping an eye on it. Take it easy for a while, Ludovica. This will pass and something will come around the corner. Absolutely. I like your honesty. Yes. Very, very important. Hang on, bro. Get some time off the charts. Hope you'll be fine. That's right. Support from India. What's up, Gaurav Pratap? How you doing? Oh, I need to speed up. Here comes the Ethereum trade. Yep, that's my story. It all started with ETH, man. My first trade wasn't even Bitcoin. I really appreciate your words. I always watch. I don't comment much. I remember when you were talking about discipline. I'm very disciplined, but in trading, it's hard. Yep, it's very hard. The discipline, I think it is about this video, you mean? Other content. Recently for Discord only. Funny enough, I didn't put it in the Discord only channel. I put it in other content. Maybe a mistake, but look at this video. This is how I, in life, I suppose, disciplined, consistent with videos and stuff, but it can also help you maybe in trading. And I shared the planner that I use. I have it here. The planner that I use myself. So it's in the folder, of course, but yeah, I use that planner on a daily basis every morning for the schedule of the day, which also means I actually got to stop soon because I got other stuff to do. Card Crypto, what's up, mate? I don't know exactly why that happened. It is very hard. Discipline in trading, patience in trading, sticking to a plan. My biggest struggle as a trader, so I know the plan works that I have, the strategy works. The biggest issue I sometimes still have how can I say this, is that I think I know where price. So my strategy, I don't trade Elliott Waves, but there's a couple of elements in the strategy that use Elliott Wave knowledge. But sometimes you see price action and you're like, oh, I know where it's going, and you want to get involved, but no one knows where it's going, and then you enter and it actually goes against you. So that the danger of thinking you know what's going to happen, but you got to play the probabilities. So the moment you see a candle close there, or the single prints, or But I think it's the biggest challenge is not sticking to the plan, which you know works. Being patient enough to stick to a plan where you know that over a long period of time it works, which I mean I have proven with my own trading, but still it can be a challenge to be very patient, because the strategy I have is not an everyday trade. Sometimes you have to wait multiple days before a trade comes. It's between like 8 and 20, I suppose, a month. Also for the diamonds, right? Not that we have B+ and A- again. You always remember the first one. Yep. The first big one. I'll never forget that. I lost all my capital when Bitcoin was at 40K, retracing slowly down to 30K. Not from all-time high, but from 40 to 30. That's when I got into CAC. Wiped out my capital in Bitcoin short. My count was wrong. Yeah. Painful, right? And this happens as well. So even with Elliott Wave counts and probabilities, I always keep a close eye on the local price action. Like I try to show in videos as well what's happening locally. And of course counting Elliott Waves in general, it's a challenge, but it's a learning process at the same time. So it's a nice lesson. Just lost 50K, up 10. Holy moly, what has happened, Chad? The fish, man. Damn. Hope you're doing good, but at least you're up 10. So you're getting back to it. It's also all relative. Of course, if 50K is like 1% of the portfolio, it's okay. But if it's a big portion, then it's a problem, right? Then it's shit. But nonetheless, it's always shit. 50K. Sorry to hear that, man. The push seems like the push kind of like caught some people out, eh? Liquid Mafia, my opinion on probability, if you short, you increase your risk. So I don't short at all. That can also be a strategy. Absolutely, it can be part of a strategy. Been following many YouTubers since 2018, but most of them turned into clickbait, FOMO, permabull guys. I like this being focused on real trading. This channel could be about any asset class. First of all, thanks to Doctor, which is exactly the way I like to run the channel. But also, I only focus on Bitcoin because of time. I don't have time to go through all the different charts because I have other business speaking. Actually, now I have to, let's see, what was the plan? Oh, I have to do some business stuff actually now as well. So I will close the stream soon. But it's a time thing, so I only focus on Bitcoin, and I only trade Bitcoin as well. So, but yeah, I don't like clickbait. I have the same titles, same kind of like screenshots. I think I will update my screenshots soon. It's going to be the same, but I'm going to edit the green around the letters. It's a bit too, maybe a bit too bright. Make it a bit better, improvement. But hey, it works for now. There must be a pullback somewhere. Yeah, and we're currently ranging as well, which is expected after a pump. So we have a bit of support here as well, 33.4. So if it moves down, it's all about observing the reaction, because for the people that just joined, all the analysis, Elliott Wave analysis, and a run through of what has happened in the past week is given at the beginning of the video. So you can go to the beginning and yeah, you can check it out. We're not yet out of the danger zone. I lost my trade to 12k vet. Man, sorry, man. Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be pullbacks in a move to the upside or downside. Oh, copy paste without link. I don't really know why it doesn't work. That's an odd one. Maybe too much letters for the comment box. That might be an idea. Galaxy S20. Welcome. Now, I don't actually know who you are at the moment. Because either you change your name or you're on your phone now. But what's up, man? Or woman? I don't know now. How about Ethereum? I actually don't really trade Ethereum. Oh, wait. I did promise to actually have a little look at least. Lol. Okay, got some analysis here, which is completely irrelevant. To clean up the chart. There we go. Not gonna lie, it's quite interesting. You took this low again. Of course, this looks impulsive, right? Like, it's a thing. People love to short or try to short tops, but wait for proof of resistance, weakness. You know, like that's the thing. You get big moves and people try to like short and short and short and short in a push. Of course, if you had a solid strategy plan to go short, it's valid. But the moment now that you see the push here, I'd be very patient unless your strategy tells you to short. If you have a solid strategy, yeah, it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. Potential of a flat. I didn't do analysis on Ethereum because I don't trade it, right? So 5, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but then you would end here, and this is, it's a bit odd. So for Ethereum, you definitely want to like move out of the box that I'm putting on my chart now. Yeah, you want it to go above 1900 for sure. Just to avoid the probabilities of this being a wave C in a flat. A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just to make sure you know. But yeah. It has a push to the upside. Gotta wait for weakness. You're now at this order block here, I see as well. There you go. Kind of filled this gap order block now. You probably have a point of control here somewhere. Oh, well, there we go, point of control. So it's important resistance for Ethereum at the moment, for sure, important resistance. If you don't trade with Elliott, how do you trade? I thought you were putting your positions for longs and shorts with Elliott. I do use a few Elliott Wave kind of like rules in my strategy, but Elliott Waves doesn't necessarily fit my personality of way of trading, because I need a lot more structure, lower time frame entries. Because if you do higher time frame Elliott Wave counts, you can go long or short in areas, but I like to pinpoint more, right? And be more local, have a better rule for where my stop loss is, like an exact rule, instead of there is lower probability of, you know, price going here. I want to have a solid invalidation, you know, solid targets. I want to leave some stuff out. Like Elliott Waves has a lot of rules, but it's also a bit gray. It's not as black and white, and I need the black and white, like the structure. My biggest issue in trading used to be when to TP. Nowadays I set my TPs at the moment I open my trade and I touch it. Same here. I always target a 1, 2, 3 unless I have a scenario where I can extend the target, but usually 1, 2, 3. No question asked. I was waiting for ETH to drop at around 1530 area to get in. Do you think we could still go back, or did I miss out? I mean, of course the probabilities are always there, but then again, we're currently in a push, so you want to first see weakness on the chart. And as long as you don't see weakness, so Ethereum now is at resistance, right? You have the order block, point of control, very important resistance. If you can get above it, you can expect some more higher prices, but you're not yet in a safe zone. So, you know, till like 19, there's still the danger of going down. And there always is, but you got to wait for weakness. And at the moment it's pumping, so it doesn't really make too much sense to look for downside yet. I open a long on March futures. This has pushed my liquidation from 31.6 to 40k. You have both a long and a short. Safe trading, mate. Safe trading. What's up, Roberto Okamoko? We need an open mouth thumbnail. Yeah, open mouth thumbnail, and you know, being somewhere in some sunny country and yeah, doing it on my phone. Shorted Bitcoin, then jumped on X. Guy, my counting for pump still ongoing until 29.10. Possibility, yes. Finish this period, will be 5.12. Wait for a high there. That has potential. I was here in August. Yeah, that is a potential scenario to keep going up. Are you familiar with vector candles? No. I heard it once, but I actually don't. Does the macro change for you now? Sophos, make sure to check the video of this morning. I went over the macro there. So a few things changed. Not too much, but a few things have changed there. And you can also check the beginning of this video for a bit more detail on the medium time frame and the low time frame. Ruperto Yugas, yeah, it's good to see you again, man. It's always nice to also see people coming, like, you know, you always have the same names. Papa Life as well before you go, because I feel like you gotta, yes, I do. Let me actually do this, because guys and girls, I gotta move, gotta work on my other business. You know, I've been online now for an hour, 1.5 hours almost. I feel you gotta go soon. I want to thank you for all your time, all the advice, not only for trading, but for life. Thanks for being so kind and nice. You're a good man, Koen. I'm gonna screenshot this message right now, and that is one to cherish. Thanks, Papa Life, man. I appreciate your brings a smile on my face. Thanks for that. That's very kind. I mean, I try to help and provide insight as much as I can. Not necessarily help, because no financial advice, but at least, I suppose, teach as much as I can. I really appreciate all you say and everything you share with us. I listen to you with a lot of attention. You're unique. Thanks, Papa. Also, thanks, Papa, for popping in. and being here. It's nice seeing you. Nice seeing you again. And I hope you trade safe. Trade safe. Make sure you get up and running again after the loss yesterday. I'm sure you will. Learn from those moments, right? Learn from those moments. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. And if there's one thing unique, the comments of Papa Live, man. If he comments, he writes like a book. You should read some of the comments. It's crazy. It's really funny. Thanks for hanging out. Mark from Seoul, Korea, thanks for your nice analysis. Pleasure. For the people that just arrived, make sure to go to the beginning of the video, because that is where I did the analysis part. So you can check that out. The next video will be 7 p.m. Central European time. So let's see if anything changes. Matt Maloney closing in 5K subs. I actually don't know where we are now. What are we at? I don't really look at the numbers too much. I tend to more focus on the volume and try to deliver the best value, like deliver the best value I can. 4,619. That is where we're at the moment. 4,619. So we just crossed the 4,600 barrier. There you go. Wow. By this rate, we're gonna reach 5K, I suppose. I don't know, in a month. Maybe less than a month time. That's pretty insane. Before the end of the year. Quite amazing. Thanks everyone for doing that, right? Like that's incredible. And thanks for the support. Hopefully the content is helpful and valuable. So Mike Freeman, a pump indeed. Guys, thanks for being here. SR Trader, Mike, Matt, everyone, Chili, Broncos, Mark, and also our Spanish friend. I saw a message. Hugo Roll Perez, buenos dias desde España. What's up? How you doing? I forgot to say hi. But thanks for hanging out. Got to go back to doing some other stuff now, work on my other business. So if you missed the analysis, go to the beginning of this video, this stream, basically, because that's where I will cover the different scenarios and my thoughts on the current price action and also how we got here. So thanks for watching. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.